In today's show, we're going to talk about when you go off to La La Land. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Boardman. And if you are coming through and watching, please do let me know. Please let me know what your thoughts are on the subject that we're talking about today. And also sharing the experiences that you have got about today's subject in the community to let everyone else know it's not just them going through what we're about to talk about. So, imagination is a fantastic thing. Creating scenarios and situations in our head. I remember doing this from a very early age. I've always had this vivid imagination and being able to create all of those scenarios and situations that I'd love to happen. I even used to write books when I was a kid on it. I used to write down vivid stories using my insane imagination. And I'm sure you two do also. But can imagination actually create more suffering for us than ever possible? Now, overthinking, for me, is our brains going into overdrive in terms of imagining scenarios and situations that are happening within our own life. And what we're doing is taking environments, situations, conversations, face reactions, you name it, and manifesting an imagination in our brains. And what that does is creates a sense of ripple effects through our body in terms of the emotions that it creates. It creates frustration. It creates anxiety. It can often lead to creating depression, feelings of depression, low self-worth, nervousness, insecurities. And that's just to name a few. And that overthinking can have devastating effects over a period of time when we're consistently feeling those emotions. Now, often when we do feel emotional and when we do overthink everything, it's a recipe for us to go down a path of negativity. Now, I asked some of my mastermind clients about this yesterday, and many of them have the same sort of point of view as I do. Whenever we overthink anything, we don't go down a rabbit hole of positivity. We don't overthink things and create positive thoughts and scenarios and visions in our head. We create negative ones. And we often think of the worst case scenarios that are going on. So I used the example yesterday was that if I went for a walk or I went out on a night out with my missus and she happened to bump into a male colleague and they started having a laugh, does that mean that they're having an affair? Is she cheating on me there? Do you suddenly see how that spirals out of control with your imagination, your overthinking? Because we take a scenario, we take some actions that are happening and we play them out in our head and we self-sabotage ourselves by overthinking a situation. We often do this at work, in our own business, in our own health, and we often create these pictures in here. And they create the emotions in here. And they trigger the reactions. You know, if I take that scenario of my missus, that then creates insecurity. I then start micro-analysing everything that she's doing. I'm then tempted to check her phone. By the way, this didn't happen, all right? I check her phone, and then I start questioning, is our relationship good enough? And then suddenly you're spiralling out of fucking control. You know, it can also be linked to perfectionism, trying to find perfection, overthinking everything, thinking that, oh, if I do my video like this, or if I stutter in my video, people are going to think I'm a dick, people are not going to listen to me. That's one of the things I used to overthink, was analysing me on video. Sometimes I would listen back to my video and overanalyze everything that I'm saying, the way I'm saying it. Maybe I had a bad morning and I wasn't as fluent with my speech as I could be. So I naturally think, oh, people think I'm shit, people won't listen. And again, you go off down this road of overthinking, overanalyzing. Now, there are a couple of ways that I personally deal with overthinking. There's a couple of ways that I know some of the other guys have done, having spoken about this in our mastermind yesterday. And some of the ways that we kind of deal with this, meditation is a really good one for me, because it allows me to train my mind to be clear. It allows me to, if you like, add a time buffer to everything that I'm thinking. So when I start overthinking and creating vision in my head and conversations in my head, what I'm able to do is create this time buffer that allows me to put some reality on those visions and thoughts that I'm having. It's like snap yourself out of it. But it also allows me to keep calm. It allows me not to act irrationally and negatively and emotionally. Another thing that I find that helps is journaling. Now, journaling is one way of me expressing everything that's going on in my mind. So all of the things that I think going on up here in terms of overthinking, I write them down. So in the journal and the biggest distractions, I put those thoughts that are going in my head in those type of distractions. And I must almost look at overthinking maybe 4 or 5 times a day, probably even more. But I write those things down in the planner. I write those things down, and they do become a distraction. The overthinking becomes a distraction. They can often stop you progressing in your business, or stop you in your growth, or stop you training. If you're going into a gym and you're thinking everyone's looking at you, you see a group of people laughing, you think they're laughing at you. That then affects your confidence to go and get fit and go and get in shape. But ironically, one of the other ways to deal with overthinking, I think, is running. Like, training is great, but running is brilliant. Running, walking, cycling. Because what you're able to do is you have that process, and when you're running, it's a positive thing. When you're exercising, I feel like it's a positive action. And that positive action allows you to really reflect on a lot of things. It really helps you, I feel, for me personally, it makes sense of a lot of the things, for a lot of the things that I'm overthinking. It suddenly feels like this squash ball. Overthinking's like this, and over a period of 1-2 hours, it slowly plateaus out to really make sense of the things that I'm overthinking. So it's a great way for me to deal with overthinking. So really, meditation, journaling, exercise, those type of things are really great. And other things are communication and understanding with people that are in and around you. You know, I will often talk to friends or my partner about the things I'm overthinking. It really allows me to get it off my chest. It really allows me to really express myself. It really allows me to get another point of view. You know, I don't go up to my miss and say, "You having an affair with that fucking bloke?" Because I'm going to go and bury him in the woods. If you are. Do you know what I mean? But if ever I have felt insecure about someone, I've always been honest and upfront about that. And actually, you know, the worst case scenario, if she wasn't having an affair, it's I've dodged a bullet. God, I hope she's not watching this, because she'll probably be like, why are you using me as an example? Anyway, off point slightly, overthinking, some ideas. I just want to bring it up. I just want to bring it to the forefront of your mind. Think about it. Think about the meditation, the journaling, the exercise, ways to be able to overcome it. Be conscious of you doing it. Be conscious of the restrictions that it's making in your life. Be conscious of tackling it head on and trying to put some perspective, which I think is another key word in terms of dealing with overthinking. Put perspective on those thoughts that are going on in here and ask yourself, are you just in la land? I got that off one of my guys in the mastermind. Or are you being reasonably sensible with those thoughts? All right, just some food for thought for the day. Have a great Wednesday. See you Friday.